13. When you pray you say, "We are the fruit of 6,000 years of history," but how are you the fruit of 6,000 years? You are simply your parents' children. Yet since you're connected to true parents, you can be a fruit of history and a starting point of the future. Thus, your hope is not in the future, but in the true parents. The world will become one based on everyone's unity with the true parents. 14. When you unite with true parents, the nation, the tribe and the family can emerge. True parents embody in substance all the glory and values of heaven and earth. Would you exchange true parents for all the money in the world? Can you purchase them with your life? You are now living in a different time. Wherever you go, you should attend true parents. Beginning with your sons and daughters. Your descendants should do the same in the generations to come. 15. True parents are the core, the center. Who can determine the standard of value of all that is in motion in heaven and on earth? I am saying that they are the measure of value that is the hope of all beings. This is true because God is such a being. He is the origin of the principle, the center of all ages and eras, and the owner of the future. He seeks to harvest the fruit of history. True parents are the central headquarters in which God dwells. 16. What will be at the core of history, the present era and the future? It is the true man and true woman. They should be the center of a global teaching that bears the fruit of history with respect to history, connects this age to all ages with respect to the present, and creates the forthcoming era with respect to the future. The viewpoint and motivation of that true man and woman would be to live a meaningful life for the sake of the world. Their loving each other would also be for the sake of the world. And their having sons and daughters would spur them to love the world more. 17. True parents are the central figures who judge history, govern the present time, and pioneer the future. To receive true parents has been the desire of all people throughout history. True parents come to this earth to represent God's will. Then what is it that they are meant to accomplish? They fight against Satan's world and attain dominion over all things. They destroy Satan, who governs the human world. And they attain an absolute position from which they govern even the myriads in the spirit world. This is the mission of the true parents. That is why God has been paving the way by which He can send them to earth and restore a world wherein all things of creation, humankind and heaven are united. 18. Due to the fall of the first ancestors we lost the hometown, the nation and the world. Furthermore we lost God and even God's love. True parents are the starting point to regain all these essential and magnificent things. What is the purpose and desire of God, who has led His providence throughout history to this day? It is to find the true parents, and thus He has been leading the history of indemnity since the fall. It is for this same purpose that countless Christians have been longing, in hope, waiting for the day of the second coming. For this purpose many religions are also longing for this day. Thinking of this, true parents' birth on earth is a fearsome yet marvelous event. 19. Study of the providential ages leads us to understand that the providence of restoration is completed in the last days. As the last days approach, religions move closer to realizing their purpose, which is the coming of the parents, not any parents, but the true parents, as the divine principle teaches. True parents are those who have realized the ideal of oneness based on God's love. They have fulfilled their responsibility by passing through the realm of indirect dominion based on their accomplishments according to the principle, and into the realm of direct dominion. They are the first parents in history to establish the ideal of oneness in love between God and humankind. God's ideal of love finally begins to settle on earth through the true parents' family. 20. What was God's ultimate purpose in guiding the history of restoration? It was the advent of the true parents. True parents are required to represent a true family. A true family is required to represent a true tribe. A true tribe to represent a true people. A true people to represent a true nation. And a true nation to represent a true world. In this way history will advance, if we look at this process the other way around. A nation should be sacrificed to represent the world. A people should be sacrificed to represent the nation. A tribe to represent the people, a family to represent the tribe. And a representative person should be sacrificed for the family. This process culminates with the true parents. 21. We are living a life fraught with struggle between good and evil. Then, when will this fleeting, temporary life transform into a permanent, eternal life? At what point in time will this transformation occur on the national and world levels? Where do these issues originate? All problems came about due to the fall of Adam and Eve, who became the false parents. Consequently, problems of the heart, of lineage, of character, of language, and the problems of daily life arose, as well as problems affecting nations in the world. Then how can we fulfill our desire to resolve these accumulated problems all at once? It requires a true standard. But this is not to be found within the tribe, society or nation, or even within the world, because the origin of all problems is the false parents. Only a connection with the true parents can lead us to a solution. 22. Even if all the parents of the billions of human beings were to resurrect this instant, not one of them would manifest the glory of true parents. Even if all the ancestors of millions of generations were to come back to life and sing praises over the glory of their resurrection, the song and the glory still would not be free from the fallen realm. What of the name true parents, which we use in the Unification Church? Although your current situation may be miserable, you can be proud of these words. Their value exceeds your value, and even that of hundreds of millions of ancestors bringing victory throughout the earth, proclaiming liberation for all people, singing songs of praise and shouting of glory. Meeting the true parents will start you on the path to meeting God. And meeting the Unification Church will start you on the path to God's kingdom, the homeland that true parents desire to see in the near future.